All right, so this video is going to be, I'm going to talk about price and benefit. And everything you do in life, there is a price and there's a benefit for everything you do. What do I mean by that? I mean that you having something that you do, let's just talk about relationship. There is a benefit of being in a relationship, and there's also a price of being in a relationship with yourself or with other people. So whenever the price, meaning it's costing you, it's hurting you, and whatever that hurt and that pain is, when it is much more, when the benefit is higher than that price, then you're willing to pay the price. So I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I was in this very dysfunctional relationship, and it was actually a business relationship. It was a business. It was 100% business, but the relationship was very dysfunctional. The person was narcissistic. They were very hurtful in the way they spoke, the way they put me down and all that. But that was a price. The benefit was for me was I got to get that re-encouragement because this person encouraged me and at the same time discouraged me. So the feeling of wanting to be accepted, the feeling of wanting to even save was so much more as a high than it was being in pain within that relationship. So we always have those two things. We have a price and a benefit for everything we do in life. So when changes takes place is when the price is much more higher than the benefit. And I always say this to people. They say, well, what do you mean? Well, I said this, I was actually coaching one of my clients, and we were just talking about just getting self-care, because self-care is a big thing, going to sleep on time. And they were giving me all kind of excuse of why they couldn't go to sleep on time. So it was like 10 o'clock, that was their time. I didn't set the time, they set the time, but they couldn't hold on to that. So I asked them this, I says, if I give you $100,000 to go to sleep at 10 o'clock tonight, would you? It says, absolutely. I says, okay, exactly what I'm talking about. The benefit was higher than the price that they have to do is to discipline themselves. So they were willing to do it. So that leads me to this. Again, what I told my client was, is your body, the health of your body, what you're saying is the health of your body and you getting proper care, proper self-care is not as important than 100 grand. That's what you're saying to me. So the 100 grand is much more important than the body, your body and your self-care. And most of us go through that. So we tend to put more value in something else other than really what is valuable. So there's about three things that you can't go for, meaning you can't believe in the things that you say. Okay, hear me out. The things that you say you want, the things that you're going to do. Have you ever said, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to really make a change on this thing. I'm going to do it. And I for doing it. The years goes by and the results are not matching up to your words. So number one is get the words to match up to your results, okay? If the words don't match up to your results, that says one thing and one thing only. You're in a habit of breaking your word, okay? Number two, your words don't act, once your words don't match up your actions, like what you said you're going to do it, but you don't do it, there's the results and there's also your action. So when you say that you're going to do something, you're telling your mind, your heart, your soul that this is where we're going to make a change. And at the same time, you don't. You just broke, again, your words connection to your action. You have result, which becomes evidence, by the way. It becomes evidence of how you break your words. So then lastly is, how do we do this? How do we shift? How do we change this thing? Well, number one is commit. You've got to make a decision that I'm going to do this regardless of whatever it takes. No matter what, I'm going to do this. And you know, in my life, when I made a decision that I'm going to heal, and when I made this decision that I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do, 9 out of 10, there was always three things that didn't work out for me. Number one, the time. The time was never perfect. Number two, my energy. I never really had enough energy because I feel already tired. Number three, the money. And do you know that time, energy, and money are actually an excuse? They're not really what you actually, that's stopping you. What's stopping you within it is that the pain that you're going through right now is not enough. There's a benefit. There is something, I call it false benefit, that causes you to stay in your pain and not change. Something about the relationship that you have with your pain that's saying it's okay to be in pain. It's okay to suffer. Well, I've been suffering for a long time until I made a decision to change. And when you make a decision to change, you will figure out the time. You will create the time versus creating an excuse. You will create the income. You will figure it out. And number three, you will have the energy when your words and your mind and your actions are creating results. A lot of times we stop our entire life because of those three things. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the money. I'm telling you, those things will stop you from doing a lot of things. And most people don't have those three things. Most people, we think that when, then I will. No. That's not how it works. It's not when you do something, then you will. It's kind of like saying, if I do this, or when I have the money, then I will do this. And therefore, when I do this, then I will be free from everything. That's not going to work. Where it's or I got to do this in order to have, so I could be. What you want to do is you get to be the person that you say you want to be. And then you move towards that person. You need to take the action to the person that you want to be, and then you will get the results. You know, when I was looking for coaches for the longest time, and I couldn't find one. I was like, man, they're too expensive. They're too this, they're too that. There's so much excuses that I gave myself. But the minute I made a decision, the money came. The minute I made a decision, the time came. The minute I made a decision, my energy shifted. And you got to have a breakthrough in order to get to where you want to go. Nothing. Think about it. Think about it right now. It's been how many years you've been into what you're going through right now? How many years? And how long? Ask yourself, how long? How many more years do I get to be in this pain and make excuses? Because I guarantee you, the next year, you'll have another excuses. And I remember one time, I can't remember what it was. I had to come up with something. And then I did the math. I'm like, man, if I just put $10 a month, I would have had that. But because of my excuse, even 10 wasn't even capable of me doing that. So do you understand what I'm saying? So anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today, is about price and benefit. When the benefit, which is a false benefit, kind of like somebody that's getting high, they get a false benefit, but in actuality, their body is deteriorating, their life is falling apart. But because the benefit of getting high is so high, then they're willing to pay the price. How long are you willing to pay the price? When you're not willing to pay the price anymore, you will figure it out. I'm telling you, somehow the universe, God, will come towards you and meet you. And together, you're going to make some things happen. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share. Hopefully that did help you out. Leave some comments. And yeah, let's make this.